is a 2024 Volvo XC40 twin motor ultimate recharge. I probably said that wrong, but because there's too many words in there, I'm just going to go with that. I know you will too. Here's the important point. We reviewed a vehicle identical to this last year. I mean, even the same color, which is a really cool looking green. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is there are two things going on here. One is that there is a new version of this which has rear drive and actually a larger battery. And why is this one of our favorite electric vehicles, even though it has several flaws? All right, what's under the hood? Now first of all, if you pull the hood latch inside the vehicle, you have to move all the way over to the side to open it. Yeah, there you go. There's some free advice right there. Here's some more. Bye-bye. There is a little bit of storage, just enough for your charger. I'm actually really happy that they give you the converter to where you can plug it into 220 or 110. That is very cool as well. Now, for those of you who are curious, there could be a gas engine in here because they do build a hybrid version of this vehicle, which is why you'll see certain components in here that are blocked off, like, oh, I don't know, the start button. We'll get to that in a minute. But this one, well, this has two motors, and its total output is 402 horsepower and 494 pound-feet of torque. That's pretty damn good, especially in a vehicle like this, because this thing just likes to pick up and move. Now, what if you were to get the rear drive version of this? So in the ultimate version with all-wheel drive, you get a 78 kilowatt hour battery. Now, if you get the rear drive version of this, then you get an 82 kilowatt hour battery. So obviously you're getting better range. Now, this one, as it sits, is supposed to get 254 miles. However, if you go all the way over to the rear drive version of this, then you can get 290 plus miles per charge. So significantly more, but then again, rear drive. I just find it unusual that they put the bigger battery in the rear drive version of this. All right, we're gonna do a little something here. There's a mixture of snow, ice, powder, crushed stuff, just a lot of crap right here. And I'm curious about how the car is going to handle it, forcing the power to the rear wheels. That's interesting. It does allow a little bit of slippage, but immediately when I accelerate, it compensates and it throws that power to the rear wheels. So it feels like it's a little bit more of a front wheel drive vehicle in this type of condition. However, when I'm on the street, it feels like the reverse, where it takes the power and throws it to the rear. Now remember, you can get one of these with just one motor, and that is rear drive only. So maybe that has something to do with it. All right, so how about on the streets? Well, that's where this thing really shines. An excellent trade-off between having a relatively tight suspension, but yet having a very smooth ride and very quiet too. Yeah, it's an electric vehicle, I get that, but often there's a little bit of road noise, especially for a square shape. I mean, this thing is very boxy. Not hearing a lot of wind noise. I've driven one of these up and over several passes and I've put hundreds of miles on these things. They tend to be relatively quiet. So far, handles really good on snow and ice. And this is with street tires too, guys. I mean, if you put actual winter tires on this thing, I think it would be an animal. It is very good to accelerate with. Check this out. I'm going to do a little tiny acceleration. Nothing special. I'm just going to stop here. By the way, I have it dialed into where basically it's doing almost one pedal driving. Accelerate. It throws you back in your seat. Holy cow, this thing really moves. It is capable, in my mind, as being sport car-ish without having any of the sacrifices in terms of space. Speaking of packaging, you get 14.7 cubic feet of cargo space back here. Check this out. Now this is actually the panel that goes up here. This is a hard panel that can lift and whatnot, but you can store it down here, which I really like. And then under here, if you look carefully, you have a kit to jack up the car. but I don't believe you get a spare tire. No, I don't see one. That's a real shame. I wonder if there is a spare tire in here. That's a really good question. And the answer is no. But you do get up to 57.7 cubic feet of cargo space when you fold these seats down. And the cool thing is they fold pretty flat, as you can see, just a slight gradient uphill. Now, if you look at the overall shape of this vehicle in terms of its size, it is currently in the United States one of the smallest Volvos you can get. Yes, there will be a baby brother to this vehicle coming out soon, and we've only had limited access. That's the EX30. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to actually get our hands on one. For now, this is the small one. And it's interesting because the size of it, well, it's really small, because if you were to look at this next to the Mini Cooper Countryman, which we can all agree is a pretty small vehicle, this is only a little bit bigger. Internally, it's pretty close to the same size as the Chevy Bolt EUV. The design hasn't changed much in a year, so basically this looks the same. That's including this front end design. Now, by the way, if you look right at the front, this is the easiest way to tell the difference between the gas version and this one, the electric version, because there's no need for a grille. Aha! All right, let's work our way to the back. I love the two-tone roof design. This is great. And they really did a lot with a box. And it's not the easiest thing to make a box look unique. Now, yes, those are 20-inch wheels, and they are, according to Volvo, diamond cut. I just think they look kind of cool, but they're diamond cut as well, just so you know. Typical Volvo rear end back here. This accent is popular throughout other Volvo models, and they keep everything within the family, which I like, because you can immediately identify this on the street as a Volvo. You're not looking at it and trying to think, who builds it? You immediately know it's a Volvo. So a couple final little notes in terms of driving this. It drives like a regular car should, and I always like that with electric vehicles. And you get the real benefit of an electric car, which is, even, you know, if you go all the way down the scale and all the way up the scale, having immediate torque off the line, that's huge. And this thing has so much power, over 400 horsepower, that as you're cruising down the highway and you want to get around somebody, it's a breeze. This car really does have a lot going for it. Not everybody is going to be hip about the range. Perhaps for that type of money, if you were looking at Tesla or other competitors, you would be able to get slightly better range. Also, in terms of cargo space, it's tiny. I mean, those are issues. And this IP setup, not the best out there. I honestly do not love the fact that there's no start button, stop button. I really wish they would fix that. Who knows, maybe in the next generation they will. But for the most part, I will say that this car is outstanding to drive. One of my favorite parts about Volvo is the fact that they're comfortable. I fit well in all of them. So for a big fat monkey like me to have comfort in even a small vehicle, that's saying something. So let's talk about this one. No components on here are new from last year. I mean, really, this is all pretty much the same. So this is still pretty much the same. You have a 9-inch screen, you have a 12.3-inch screen, you have all that. This one, because it's the ultimate version, has the Harman Kardon version of its stereo system. In other words, it doubles up on speakers, 13 of them, 12 channels, 600 watts. I mean, it's nuts. If you got the basic version of this vehicle, everything would be basically cut in half. You'd have like 7 speakers. So yeah, that's pretty cool. You know what isn't though? I'm going to be completely honest with you. Starting the car. See, that doesn't do any good. I think it's because they feel that as an electric car owner, you don't want to be inconvenienced by pushing a button. No. What you want to do is put your foot on the brake, and then you're ready to go. I'll put it into drive, and then everything comes alive, and it's in drive. But I may not want to do that. Here, I've got it in park. I push the button, and until you walk away from the vehicle, close the door and walk away, then it shuts down. I don't like that. honestly do not like that. Now, sure, you could on the key fob lock it right when you get out of the car before you walk away, and it'll shut everything down as well. These are the only hard buttons that you have. That's it. This is nothing else. All the other stuff is in the screen. I'm not a huge fan of that. Yes, you do have things that you can scroll through and push, but it's not the fastest system on the planet. See how long it takes just to figure that type of stuff out. There we go. Boop, boop. I do like that you can do that. Unfortunately, these back seats, they don't slide or recline. I am 6'1", and I'm sitting behind myself pretty damn comfortably, actually. I have plenty of leg room. Headroom is really good. Yeah, not bad. The seats themselves, this center section right here, it's a little bit on the stiff side for the lower back, I think, but you know, not everybody's the same in terms of their lower back. You do have air conditioning controls. Well, sorry, you just have vents here. Down here, you have rear seat heating elements that you can fire up. And then, of course, you have USB-Cs. So yes, it performs well in the snow, and that should be no surprise. I mean, it does have Swedish heritage, right, technically? Now, if you were to get this vehicle with the gas engine, basically the hybrid, the base model of that, it would be around $40,000. This one, if you get the rear drive version, starts at around $53,000, $54,000. But then, when you add everything on, the all-wheel drive, and of course getting the ultimate, then you are at $61,000 plus. It's a lot of dough for this vehicle, but I gotta tell you, in a class where it competes with other vehicles, I think it's excellent. It's a lot of fun to drive, very comfortable, just a well-sorted vehicle. And I think Volvo can do even better in the near future. So I am looking forward to driving its little brother. I'll see you guys next time.